Hey guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be continuing to look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are now on episode 2, and in the last episode, we saw some important events. The Russian Empire becoming the strongest country. We saw these Somali pirates be established. We saw civilization start, which is pretty important. We saw the Italians fall into two pieces, and we saw the Russians dominate the blue team, and we also saw the Arab country make a grave mistake. The first event that will be happening in this episode is a very important event. After the Russians conquered this area, the blue team used to be like, Poland used to be like out to here, and then Russia conquered all of it. So this area is now pretty unstable. In most other areas, like the major cities that I'm going to draw, all the way in all of this area that was always part of the Russian Empire, it's very stable, and the leader is very loved. He's a very loved dictator, which is a strange thing. What happens here is that the culturally blue people living here decide that they don't want to be part of the Russians anymore, and they will separate in hopes of joining the blue team. The Russians do not take this lightly. They take this very aggressively, in fact. And what they're going to do is start to invade. The Russian troops start to pour into here, and eventually, it looks like the rebels are going to be completely pushed back. But here it goes. Boom, another pocket of rebellion. Boom, another pocket. And soon, this is what happens to the Russians. They start to realize that this is not the best situation. They do start to round off these groups, killing this one over here. But the blue team is actually not going to get involved in this conflict, but they are supplying these rebels. Right now, the rebels are doing pretty great, and this is not good for the Russians. But they start to push back, and the red team actually doesn't like Russia too much, so they start to send support to the brown rebels. But Russia warns them that they will attack and they will destroy them if they continue supporting them, so the red team just simply backs down. The Russians will start to land from the water and encircle yet again, cutting off this border and destroying them. The last two pockets of rebellion that exist are these two right here. They quickly start to push through and eradicate these groups. They will now brutally massacre anyone that stands up to the Russian Empire's incredible hegemony, and that will be the end of the rebels. Also, I'd like to mention real quick that if you look at this layer thing here, I added some maps. So this is the tech map, and the brighter the color, the better. So as you can see, Russia has the best tech, and then the green team and Italy, and then after that you can see that there is and also these pirates down here also have amazing tech, one of the best in the world. And then you can see right here that the red team and the German Empire both have the same technology level, which is right below. Then two levels down we have the yellow team, and at the absolute worst level we have Poland. This makes sense in two ways, because first of all, Poland was destroyed in that war that they had, and second of all, because Poland overall is just like been very weak since the beginning. But yeah, that's all for the tech. Now here is population. As you can see, the populations are acceptable in this area. The pirates have the worst population. They were just freshly formed. The Russians, to be honest, the population is actually pretty high in this world. But now I also made provinces. This took me so long. I was up till late last night making these provinces, like 12 o'clock at night. Anyway, I finished off all these provinces. So basically, something I'd also like to mention is I didn't finish the major cities yet, but these very tight provinces are usually for cities. Here. Also, the smaller the province, the higher the population, so keep that into account. this right here with the blue team, I think I made these provinces a little too small because the blue team is a small country. But remember, the blue team does not have this high population. It's just these are the most populated provinces in the country. So you can see, I'm just gonna let you guys see this one more time right here. I'm gonna turn it off. And the last one that we have is religion / culture. As you can see here, there is right here, the religion that the Arabs made was adopted by the pirates and many similar other things. And Poland, the red team, and Asia all have the same religion, and so do these guys because these are just rebels, and so do Germany and Italy because they're just rebels. And then Russia has their own religion and culture. Now, getting into the video, let's start with our second event. A mysterious group will decide to boat over here, and they decide the oranges, I don't know why I called them that, will be settling here in India. And this is actually a very important point in history because right now, these orange guys can now trade with the pirates, which is probably not a good idea, but they can also trade with the yellow team. And from here, they can probably go to a newly dug Suez Canal. I forgot to highlight that exists. I don't know if you guys thought that existed, but yes, the Suez Canal exists. Someone dug it. The orange team will discover Gujarat and southern Pakistan, I'm pretty sure. And they start to make a little bit more exploration. And eventually, all of this will be explored. So, now, looking at this fresh empire that is being born, we can see that once they reach Gujarat, they put their capital right there. Now, over here, there is a joint exploration plan created by the red team, the yellow team, and the Russian Empire to make a new exploration. They are going to start to explore rapidly, and eventually they will find out that there's water here. And they're like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. Water? We didn't know that was there. So now they're like, let's start sailing through here. With the Russian technology, they start sailing through there. And, well, this ship is going to go all the way over here, through this Strait of Hormuz, all the way over here, and as you guessed it, backwards into the pirates and get robbed. So they're never gonna go out there again. But then, another group of like random people, like these are just random people, this has nothing to do with those countries now, will come, they'll land in Qatar and Bahrain. I'm gonna discover that quickly right now. They discover the UAE. They come over here and discover all of this coast here. And guess what else they discover? You guessed it, the orange team's capital. So now, here we go. This area is discovered. This area is discovered. This whole area here is also discovered. And finally, this area right here will be discovered. For now, it's going to be all that is discovered on this map, and they're going to continue by the orange team continuing their expansion. You might be wondering, when are these guys going to stop their expansion? But, well, this is they're not going to stop their expansion right now, and they're just going to keep expanding. And in fact, they're going to become incredibly rich. I also like to consider the fact that there's mountains here around this area here, so they're not going to explore too far out there. they're gonna get to like here, but it is an important thing that they do meet up with this group. So at first, this group will enter the orange team and try to become residents, but the orange team is gonna be a little confused about this and like wonder where they came from. They do tell them where they came from, but the orange team is like, what? No, we're not letting you here. Go somewhere else. We don't like you. Just leave. And by the way, the south of Oman is discovered. So those people will be sadly rejected, and they will move away back out of the Strait of Hormuz. But some people will decide that they want to settle right here in this tip, close to Dubai, like a Dubai kind of country. Whoa. Will be formed right here. That also snakes along this coast, and they will get this island. All of this will also be discovered, and once they discover all of this, they the rest of the other team will like move away back into this area, but they'll decide that why should we go back to that civilization that we went away from in the first place? Let's just like chill somewhere else. So they're going to create a new lime country. Yeah, a lime country. I'm really kind of running out of colors right now. Right here. And they are going to start to climb around here a little bit. And this will be their whole area. Just right here from Caspia, why did I say Caspia? From the Caspian Sea all the way over to the Gulf, the Persian Gulf. I was about to say the Gulf of Aden. The Persian Gulf, they're going to colonize that area. This would probably be called like the Lime Team Gulf or something in this world. But what's going to happen now is there's going to be a surplus of trade where basically trade keeps leaving the orange team capital and hitting up here in the purple team and then probably coming back. And this is the very nice trade route. It can continue also, hit the lime team and come back, hit the purple team again, and then come all the way back to the orange team. So this trade route is starting to boom with money, and people are noticing it. So the other countries actually still haven't figured out that this area exists, which is kind of strange. But for the most part, like, it doesn't really matter because these three are doing their stuff. But I would also like to mention that the lime team is getting very, very close to this Russian colony, so they might be discovered soon. Now let's slap down some capitals for them. Purple one is going to be right here. Lime one will be right here. Now, it's time for the Russians to continue their rapid expansion, as they always do. This time, entering the... what is this area even called? Is this a gulf or something like that? I don't even know what it's called. But they enter Finland, modern-day Finland, and start to snake around this area. And they do find the Arctic Ocean right up here. They're going to colonize this island right here. Whoa, never mind. Whoa, that's glitching a little. But anyway, they're going to find that island, and they will press up against the unknown land. And of course, you can always see, so more land is going to be discovered. But now the Russians are becoming kind of a superpower, I guess you could call them, in a way. By the way, this is not the orange team. I'm just drawing a limit for the blue team. Boom. And the Russians will also get this. Ooh, wrong. Boom. 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 And boom. And that'll be all for them. Now, to continue, they will start to discover some land. That is the next occurrence. So right here, a lot of land will be discovered all over here. And they're getting pretty close to the Kola Peninsula up here, but they do not discover it yet. Whoa. Again, they don't discover it yet. That was an accident. All of this will be discovered. But now, the Russians are yearning for something else. They don't want this frozen Baltic Sea, even though they do have some nice ports on it, but it's pretty cold up there. They want the Black Sea or the Mediterranean Sea, and they figured out that that exists. They also found out that the Indian Ocean exists, like all these 3 countries exist in the Indian Ocean and all that stuff. So they're gonna keep that a secret because they just don't want the red team to know. And suddenly, whoa, what the heck just happened here? Russian soldiers slowly walk into the red team. This is completely an accident, wasn't even commanded by the Russians. The government probably would have wanted that though, because they want this land. So a series of skirmishes happen, and in these, the Russian soldiers accidentally start to walk into red team territory, and the red team is like, bro, seriously? And what's going to happen now is a declaration of war. The red team is going to kind of kill themselves, essentially, by declaring war on the Russians. This is probably the worst idea the red team, like any country, has done so far, because as soon as the Russians hit the border, the red team starts to regret what they did, and they start being absolutely cooked, like cooked. And Russia starts a strategy where they start to hammer troops. Whoa, not like that. That's not the speed that they did it. They start to, oops, here's all this land that they conquered already. So they're rounding off the red team, really, and they start to kind of just pound troops into this area very hard, which is very risky because the red team can always just boom in like that, but they're not going to, and somehow this keeps being successful, and they're gonna strengthen the area around their salient so that it's gonna be harder for the red team. And as the Russians get closer, the red team gets a reality check and realizes that they are absolutely terrible and they're going to get absolutely destroyed. Russian troops start to enter the Crimean Peninsula, but then they slow down completely, like almost a halt, because I don't think that the red team will allow them to get any closer to the capital. But then a miracle happens. Thousands of Russian troops are encircled in the Crimean Peninsula, and the red team is kind of getting their revenge. So here they start to reverse what has happened to them. And well, while these Russian troops try to hammer down, continue to hammer down, it's all pulled off, and the red team starts to try to make a comeback. The Russians will start to escape, but oh no, something was brewing over here. But because there's no satellites or anything like that, there was no patrols over here, which is also very silly because this is a Caspian Sea area, and the Caspian Sea is very valuable in this world, because it's one of the few big bodies of water. And anyway, the Russians end up cutting off the entire Caucasus, and guess what happens? An area breaks away from the red team, and the red team realizes that this is falling apart. This is not sustainable, and the red team is going to lose this war. The Russians have done what they wanted to do, and now the red team is really losing here. They try to send out ships to, by the way, since the Russians have acquired Sochi, this is not good for the red team, because they immediately make like a makeshift port right here, and well, you can guess how that happens. You can guess what happens after, because when Ukrainian ships try to leave these ports, especially in Snake Island, and come over here to supply the cut off Caucasus, the Russian Navy is just going to absolutely beat down on them, and this is not turning out well. This rebel group will start to enter into Crimea with hopes of taking the capital and making a new government. And the red team seems like they're actually going to fall to it. They slowly start to become a Sea of Azov nation, and the Russians actually enjoy this what's happening right now. So they're going to actually just like cede over some of this land. And well, you can really see the red team losing here. They're just starting to fall apart, and the Sea of Azov front is being thickened. The Russians start to press in from the top of the north of the red team, and this is all falling apart. The Ukrainian troops are falling back to try to protect the Crimean Peninsula, and very, very soon, all of this Romanian area is cut off. They will move over here. Actually, something that's cool here is that the Snake Island is actually a fort, like kind of a fortress, and it's like a fort, and they're having a lot of naval dominance here. But other from that, the red team is losing in the seas. Another area breaks away. I'm going to call this one Caucasia, and they're going to get this land that they want right here. And well, the red team will surrender. I don't really know what you expected. The red team is going to split in half, and they will just have to leave it alone because, well, they're gonna collapse otherwise. So, the red team is now very embarrassed from their giant war that led to crippling defeat. Now, moving over to a Western European approach, we will see that the purple team enters Sardinia and fully conquers it, then climbs around the boot of Italy and reaches Sicily. And an important event is that they conquer Malta, but more importantly, they enter Tunisia. Something big that will happen right here is that, boom, the purple team is going to start to be hurt. Wait, I have to test something. Dang it. So, let's find another color for this. Should we use maroon? Let's use maroon. Does that look nice? What if we use like this kind of color? Yeah, brown. Brown team. Light brown team. That's nice. So now, they're going to start to expand a little. What the heck? Why is that happening? Here, I guess I'm gonna have to crawl around slowly. So basically, the purple team will just give up Carthage without like a fight at all, because I don't think they want a fight. A fight would not be nice for them right now, and they'll just leave it. Overall, that's what I need to say to you guys. So the Carthaginians will keep searching, and they'll start to climb around coast. It is a little difficult to right now to go down into the Saharan desert, so they're just not going to do that. They're going to climb around Morocco a little bit. They are going to discover the bottom tip of Spain, like just Gibraltar, Sevilla area, and then they will start to do some expanding right here. They will expand all of this, and boom, they have expanded up to place their capital. I think you guys can guess where the capital is going to be. It's going to be right here, like always. Boom. There's their capital. So now, the purple team is going to react to this by saying, oh, you guys think you're so cool? We're also cool. So they start to discover some area over here. They start to push into France. And it's actually crazy to think about the fact that a rivalry pushed them to discover all of France and Spain. They're going to slip around the back of these mountains and just realize that there are mountains there. So realistically, this is kind of their map of the area. This is kind of what it looks like. So this is what their map would look like, because they have like this little rounded off mountain area right here. I have to round it off a little bit more. That's good. So they are climbing around all of this area. If there are any small mountains, they will find them. And with their incredible navy, they will start to navigate the sea. And well, now as an incredible intimidation move, which very much works, Rome will start to... Why am I calling them Rome? Their capital is in Milan. Rome will... I did it again. The purple team, or Italy, will start to move around and conquer this area. I'm calling them Rome because they're kind of like a Roman Empire, essentially, in this world, because they're very developed and they have similar areas. They will sneak down over here and touch the green team. And right here, they are also making more gains in France. And right here, we will see them move up again, and they are now have a coast on the English Channel. But they will not yet go across. Actually, wait. They're going to go across, like, to here, just to discover, like, Cornwall and this bottom area. But that'll kind of be all. And the Netherlands will be left to whoever wants to become the Netherlands. This area will all be taken, and then Rome will eventually just think about the fact that it's probably mountains, have some hikers go up there and take this area too. Also, they will start to discover this area and then realize when they put their map together with Carthage, when they put their map against the Carthaginian map, they will realize that they have now entered this area. They take this area, and Carthage will take the rest of it. Now, the tensions are starting to skyrocket because, well, Carthage and Rome, you know what? A great, crazy event is going to happen right now, and that is going to be that Rome is going to move their capital to Rome. Please work. Why is this thing being so difficult? They're gonna move it like down here. What the heck? Let's just delete it. And this area will go to Rome again. And now I will create a new capital. See here, OO. And right here. What the heck? Yeah, I'm really confused right now. It's literally Rome. Why is this not working? Technical difficulties. Let's match these two up and then put a little capital. Okay, that is really glitchy. Why is this not working? Do I have to enter and then like make a capital right here? Oh, what the heck? I had to clear my selection. Okay. Okay, now that I've cleared my selection and created their capital, this is going to become Rome versus Carthage, and this becomes very, very tense. Anyway, moving over here to the Green Empire, Aegea. They're kind of chill guys, but they will decide that it needs to be done. And whoa, why is this so smooth? Okay, there. They will realize that it needs to be done, and they will conquer Istanbul and start pushing into Anatolia very quickly. They will reach down in Cyprus, conquer all of this land, But actually, a very interesting event will occur, and a tealish nation, actually no, not teal, this like vomit nation will appear right there. And yeah, that's going to be the vomit nation. Why is this not? I hate when things glitch like this. Just work. I'm gonna draw it by pixel now because it's being so annoying. Here we go. Pixel, pixel, pixel. Every single pixel. Place it all down. And once this is all placed, then I can finally just do the fill. Like it should have been from the beginning, but this stupid map is so glitchy. I really hate this map. I wish I had the same map that 80s Pro has, but I don't. What just happened? Well, at least I know now that I can enlarge in this. What is happening? I guess I have to do every single pixel. How fun. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. This is all complete. So Cyprus will now become its own nation, and I will bop down its capital real quick to create the nation of Cyprus, which will be right here. There. So the green country is now pretty strong, and their expansion will end off right here along the Caspian Sea, but then they'll meet up with Caucasia and realize it's time to stop. Now, it's time to get back to these guys that we haven't seen since last episode. The pirates are at it again. This time, they're going to start to expand here. They will snag this land here. They won't border the purple team though, because they are scared of being invaded to stop their heinous crimes, which is just stealing. Now all this will be released, so will this. So the pirates are actually moving pretty quickly, and here they discover all of this stuff. They link up all of this area, and right now the pirates have also discovered that they were here next to the orange empire, India. So when trade is coming from the yellow team, blocked. Right now, they're up to some mischievous stuff. This mischievous stuff is a chain belt thing that goes from the Horn of Africa up to their capital, Anticotra, and all the way here. And it's a massive naval blockade. And basically, what happens is every time a trade ship moves through here, the naval blockade tells them to just keep moving through. It's okay, go ahead. But it's not okay, and they end up harming them pretty badly, and it's not very nice. It's actually really not nice, and it keeps happening, and people are gonna get very mad about this, specifically the orange team. Now, the yellow team is actually too weak to do anything about this, so the orange team is gonna show up right here and start their invasion. Their invasion is gonna be here, over here in the Horn of Africa, but they will not be able to reach the capital yet because it's too well guarded. But exactly what the pirates' nightmare was starts to come true, and the orange team is starting to defeat them. Quickly, the pirates are about to be overrun, so they make a peace deal with the orange team that just says that we just won't ransack your ships anymore. So go ahead, we're sorry, we'll never do it again. Bye-bye, please never come back here, we're so scared of you. And that's actually true, they're not being sarcastic at all. But here, the Arabian Desert will be completely almost emptied. And then, the yellow team will, even though they are kind of like very low to the worst of like close to the worst of every single category that I have, like tech and population, all that stuff. But they're still going to expand because they want to be the biggest in terms of land. And that's not turning out well for them since the Russians are much bigger and stronger than them. But they're starting to become bigger and stronger. And eventually, I'm not going to keep this on the map because I can't right now. I'll put it back later. But the nations of Cyprus and Egypt will and actually no, not Egypt, Arabia. Actually no, I'm just gonna call them Egypt. Whoa, you can't even see it. These two will form an alliance. I'm gonna have to make the square for the orange team, but for the Arabia orange, because otherwise you can't see it. So here's their alliance. I'm not going to have it on this map though, and well, that happens. Now that's a military alliance. So basically, if the green team now ever tries to invade Cyprus, they definitely could, by the way. Like the yellows probably wouldn't put up that much of a fight, but they're a little, like, it'll kind of intimidate them out of it, because why would you want to invade such a useless tiny country and, like, just for olive oil? That's basically all they have. And then right after that, you get dragged into a large war that takes a while, because I'm gonna be honest, the yellow team is a little vast, so it's kind of difficult now. So the same thing will be the case for the yellow team, but not as big, because what is Cyprus gonna do when you get invaded, honestly? And we see a skirmish happen right here, and like right along here, and there are some troops lined up there, and they're pointing guns at each other and getting a little mad at each other, but nothing will happen for now, thankfully, because otherwise there would have been a major war. Now, countries are going to seek to make alliances, and where this is going to lead us is that Diamond Alliance. Whoa. The Diamond Alliance will be made by Russia, Italy, Caucasia, the Orange Team, which has now been discovered by everyone, and last of all, can you guess which country it is? Right here, it will be the red. No, I'm just kidding. The red team is big enemies with Russia. The green team. Now, this is a little scary, and what's going to happen is these two will continue their alliance. I'm just gonna put it back on for a second so you can see. These two are in an alliance, so they're like, yo, step away from us or we'll slap you guys. Move away. No one's actually scared of them. But then, for some reason, these two will make like a little trade pact. That's green. Yeah, I know it's weird, but I'm gonna make a triangle, and I'm gonna have them, actually no, I'm gonna use a square. I'm gonna have them in green, because that will signify their economic alliance, and guess what else will guess what other country will join this? Boom. India. India will join this, and this is a big thing because now these three are rich. And also, for the second team of alliances that's being drafted up, we see a massive circle team be made by Carthage. By the way, Rome made the Diamond Alliance, but like Russia's kind of their co-owner. And then Carthage made this. The second country to join this will be Ukraine or the red team, depends on who you talk to hear it. Poland will join this, and so will their ally of the German Empire. And this is getting a little scary because, whoa, where are we going here? The pirates want revenge on the orange team for doing what they did to them. And, well, right here, we just see like a little anti-war alliance be made because these guys don't want to be killed. So they're just going to make a Pentagon alliance right here. and everyone's like, okay, we'll respect you for now, and they just back away from them. Now this is the sides of the world, and this is getting pretty scary because what could happen next? That will be all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.